Howdy, y'all. It's Justin with Yorba Wines, and I'm here outside Small Town Food and Wine, and we're going to talk to Chef Lori and Ginger, who run the place. We're going to learn a little more about them and what they're doing, our partnership tonight. So let's check it out.
Now you have cream sugar and cheesecake.
Yeah, I have way more than I'll need, and it'll all be gone by the end of this.
I gave you
Lori
some
made
samples.
different kinds.
Those
What-
are samples from, I had an order for cheesecakes. She's picking them up today.
Mhm.
And I had a little extra batter on two of the specialty ones, so I said, I'll pour a couple.
What are they?
That is a lavender blueberry and a pina colada.
Pina colada? Oh, okay. That one's might be my favorite, but I'm gonna try them both. I love the swirls on it. I'm not
It's really
the best
pretty.
on decorations, so presentation is a lot though. But thanks for partnering with Yorba Wines and doing this interview with us, and for doing the food pairing tonight. Before we get to talk about food, let's talk about you guys first. So, can you please introduce yourselves to our audience? If we could start with Chef Lori, please.
I'm Lori Mattingly, and I'm originally born and raised in Lodi, Galt area.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. And I moved in 1985 to New York, where I spent 31 years. And I came back to the Foothills 4 years ago to be back home and near family and, yeah, come home again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ginger,
I'm
please.
Ginger Budrick Carter. I grew up in Amador City, and in 2017 I opened Small Town.
Okay, thanks. You opened Small Town. I was still living in town here, and then I sadly moved away, like right
Yeah,
afterwards.
why did you do that?
I don't know. It was a mistake, but I'm moving in right now into town again, and so
Awesome.
We'll be happy to have you back.
my super local discount is legit now.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
I'm
Awesome.
excited. I feel like I was kind of getting by with a little too much there before. Okay, can we take the chance to introduce Small Town and talk about what is Small Town Food and Wine? Because it was called something before, but what is it? What is it now? What is it like?
Small Town Food and Wine started as Small Town Wine Bar, and it was going to be just a wine bar with a little bit of food, but it morphed into a restaurant. And now we have wine still,
Mhm.
but the focus is more on food now, I'd say, than wine. But they go really well together, so we still do both.
So, do you think is that a reaction to like what the community wanted? They just kept asking for more food. You were doing small plates before, and it just wasn't enough.
We did small plates, and every time we would do specials, people would get really excited about the specials, and then we started doing dinner specials because people wanted to come have dinner instead of just coming before dinner or after dinner.
Okay.
So we started serving dinner specials, and they would sell out every time, and we quickly realized there was just a need for food in Amador City, and so we kept making stuff, and people kept liking it and kept buying it, so we just did more and more food.
Yeah, you got to run with that.
Right. I think we were meant to be a restaurant. We just didn't know it. Maybe I wasn't comfortable opening a restaurant, so I opened a wine bar, and then it grew into a restaurant.
Well, it's good that you were listening to your community and what they wanted, and I think that'll translate into more success. Because it's we all have like a goal and a picture, and then that changes over time, and you have to let it change, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Lori, can you tell us about the food that you try to serve and create for Small Town? Like maybe a little inspiration behind it. Do you have any particular goals when you're creating specials? Is it just reflection of you?
I like to mix it up. I like to have fun with it. But what you were saying before about listening to the community, I get a lot of my encouragement from them. I will ask our regulars, hey, help me out here. I'm trying to think of this week's specials. What are you hungry for?
Okay.
And you know, we have a lot of people who come in with special food needs. We have our gluten-free clientele. We have our vegetarians, our pescatarians, vegans, and I try to make sure that we have a little something for everybody, and plan the specials around, you know, I mean, if we're having a meat special, then I have to make sure I have a vegetarian special. And that's how the black bean and feta tacos came to, you know, were born, because every Thursday was taco night, and we would have meat tacos of some sort, and then our vegetarian family, they're our family, would say, well, you know, I can't come on Thursday nights because you have, you know, beef tacos or chicken tacos. So now we have the black bean and feta taco. So,
And they're good.
yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of people are. We're selling out of those before we're selling out of the meat tacos.
Oh, you're converting the carnivores in town.
Yeah, or they're asking for. Should I say it? No.
Combination.
Yeah, combination.
Oh no.
Oh yes. I was like, oh, you just threw off my count. Okay, all right. But our motto.
We're really bad at saying no.
Our motto actually is, and I suggested to Ginger recently that we change the name of the restaurant to Yes We Can. Because every time someone asks for something special, we say, yes, we can do that.
Pretty much, if we can do it, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, right.
So that kind of leads into our special for tonight. Ginger, if you could you introduce our Rosado pairings? We have a 2019 Rosado from Yorba Wines, and you have paired that with something. So can you tell us what that dish is?
Yeah, so Thursday is taco night. Every Thursday we make different tacos. Always have the black bean and feta tacos for the vegetarians, and then we do a different meat usually. And we've been wanting to try a shrimp taco, and so when you brought this up to us, we thought that would be the perfect pairing for the Yorba Rosado. So we're making shrimp tacos with a cilantro crema, which is delicious.
Oh shit, she wants it on everything now.
Yeah. Like, you have any more of that? And I think it'll go great with the wine.
I think it will too. Laura, can you tell us about like how you're doing the shrimp? What maybe that crema is like? Just explaining the dish itself a little more.
Yeah, I'm doing like a little handful of medium-sized shrimp that I'm going to toss in a dry rub that would be similar to the seasonings that I would do for other tacos. Little cumin, paprika, chili powder, garlic. And then I'm going to just give them a quick saute. As you've noticed, we don't have a grill. And then I'm going to put them in a warm taco shell, a corn taco shell, with a little bit of red and green shaved cabbage and a little cilantro underneath the shrimp. And then I'm going to drizzle the top of it with that cilantro crema. And that I made from a whole lot of cilantro, a little jalapeno, fresh lime juice, some sour cream, some of our homemade mayonnaise. We only do homemade mayonnaise. And
that's work right
it's the
there.
best.
yeah,
It is the best.
I'm sure there's a couple other little secret ingredients in there, but
Yeah, we don't need
We
it.
can't tell.
You gotta come try it
yes,
if you want
exactly.
it.
And the tacos always come with cilantro rice and pinto beans that Lori makes from scratch all day.
They're
The pinto
simmering
beans
now.
as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I made butter beans yesterday for the first time, inspired by the large Andres.
Ooh,
Like,
yeah.
I got them and they were baby butter beans, so I was kind of disappointed. But they came out really well. Did like a tomato vinaigrette with dill, a little cinnamon. It was pretty delicious. I was surprised by the combo of dill
Cold,
and
like a
cinnamon.
salad, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cold, and I served it over like a braised chicken, so
Yeah.
like warmed up. But combination was great. I think I'm gonna do beans again next week.
Yeah.
So if someone were to order this tonight, or just come and visit small town food and wine in general, what can they expect for their dining atmosphere? What's it gonna be like right now?
Well, right now, because of COVID-19, we're only serving outside on the patio. All of the tables are socially distanced, so they're more than 6 feet apart. We recently got our ABC temporary license so we could extend down the sidewalk. So we're actually, it starts right here in front of our space and then goes all the way to the end by where Sierra Gold Realty is.
Mm-hmm.
So we have quite a few tables, and they have little stanchions so that you know they're ours. And yeah, you can sit and eat, and we will serve you, or you can come and pick it up for takeout. And we have a table set up at the front door to make it easy for you to pay with your chip. Everything's sanitized, and you can take it home, or you can eat it here and drink.
I've dined a couple times, and I always enjoy it. I love the little cocktails to go, as long as it's cold and ice. I think I have a whole bunch of mason jars that I might have to bring back.
You're going to need to do that, yes.
We'll give you a discount
Yes.
if you bring
Oh,
a jar.
really?
Yes.
Okay, I've got a whole 6-pack, I think, at least.
Yeah, if you bring a jar back, we give you 15% off your next cocktail.
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Those little cocktails are special. Yeah, there's no mixes. She stands there and she juices the fresh lemons and limes and grapefruits and sometimes a Valencia orange or blood orange or whatever we're using, and fresh rosemary, fresh, we had last week, we called the watermelon sugar based on my new favorite
You
song.
help out too, though. You made the watermelon puree.
Yeah, I made her watermelon
And you
puree.
made me lavender simple syrup once.
Yeah, right. So they're
Lots of love
special.
in that little jar.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
lots of
I
love.
try a different one every time.
Good.
I try not to repeat them, except I think my favorite is which one has the jalapeno in it?
Well, the margarita and the paloma you can get with or without jalapeno.
Oh, I've been getting the Paloma,
The paloma
Always
with
with.
jalapeno is.
and I give it a really, really hard shake because I want to break down that jalapeno,
Yeah.
and it's great.
I can muddle it for you if you want next time.
I might ask for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can. Okay, so Lori, I'm gonna ask you a few things. Can you tell us a little about your culinary journey? So you spent before 4 years ago, you were 31 years in New York. Did you cook there? What was that like? I went to culinary school. Did you start? Where did you start?
I started in Grandma's kitchen when I was about 10, 11 years old. My grandmother owned a restaurant in Lodi, and she
What
baked.
was the restaurant called?
It was called Emma's Coogan House. My grandmother was Emma.
Where was it
And
at?
oh gosh, it was. I could see it. I could picture it.
Okay.
I think it was called Volker Drive, which was my grandfather's last name, and he developed properties. So I believe it was Volker Drive.
Okay.
And so when all the other kids would get together on the holidays and want to go outside and play games, I wanted to be in the kitchen with Mom and Grandma and my aunts. And it didn't matter if they just sat me at the table and gave me a potato peeler and some potatoes, but I just wanted to be in the kitchen, always. And I just grew up, like my mother was a cook manager for the school district, and she also did some catering on the side. So when I had off time from school, I was helping her, sit at the table and put together hors d'oeuvres and go with her to serve catering, and I just always loved it.
Was there a theme to like the food, like cultural background? For
My grandmother was German.
Okay.
Yeah, my heritage is mostly, it's actually referred to as German-speaking Russian. And
you said potatoes, and I was like, where are we going with this?
yeah, right,
What's
right.
that dish you made once that people went crazy for?
Oh yeah, I
And
grew
you
up.
taught me how to pronounce it, but I've already forgotten.
Well, I probably murder it too. My whole family did, because of course we're Americanized. But it was what did I make? I made the well, it's a pocket sandwich, and my grandmother referred to it as Veronique. My and my family grew up calling it a Veronica.
Where's that?
I guess that's what they thought Grandma was saying.
Okay.
It starts with a V. It's a Veronique.
This is how we get language.
Yeah, exactly. I later learned from somebody who's from Russia that that's the way it's pronounced.
Okay.
And I'm probably still saying it a little off, but
What is authenticity?
yeah, right, exactly. So there are quite a few things that I grew up with, and they were brutally pronounced but I try to get it as authentic as possible now. But yeah, it was a pocket sandwich that I actually cheat. My grandmother made her own dough, and I just buy pizza dough, roll it out, cut it into squares. I made a filling with ground beef, cabbage, sauerkraut, little onions, some seasonings, and put a nice big heaping spoonful in the middle, pinch up the edges like a ravioli, flip it over, butter the top a little bit, put it in the oven and bake it. And
it looks like a really nice hot pocket.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I love those like hand pies.
Yes.
Anything that could just be warmed up.
Yeah.
I like to make them and then freeze them. So
Yeah.
when I'm ready, just
Totally.
in the oven it goes. It's a perfect snack.
Yeah.
So after your grandmother's kitchen, did you continue on? Did you leave the kitchen and come back to it?
Yeah, when I moved to New York, I went there to model, and modeling has its seasons like a lot of other businesses do. So in the off seasons in modeling, to keep my income going, I worked in the restaurant business in one shape or form. I did everything from coat check, hostessing, waitressing, cocktail waitressing. That I was a bartender. Oh.
I can run there because it's not that far.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they're moving right up the street.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a couple hundred yards. So you spent some time in restaurants and you did a lot of odd jobs in your modeling season.
Yeah, and I finally got to a point in modeling where I was getting tired of, go-sees and cattle calls and auditions, and it's just kind of all over the place. And I was offered a job at one of the restaurants I was with to manage it. So I started managing restaurants, and I still found myself always wanting in my off time to go into the kitchen and watch them prep and help them prep, and I made a point.
Called to you.
Yeah, I made a point of learning how everything on the menu was executed and how it was made, so that if there was an emergency in the kitchen, I could jump in at any time. And it usually shocked the owners, like, wow, man, we didn't ask her to do that, but I just needed to be in the kitchen.
Okay.
And so I learned a little bit here and there from every chef I worked with at every restaurant, and just always found it fascinating. Looked into culinary school when I was in New York and was accepted to CIA, but to support myself and go to culinary school was just not possible with the money and stuff. So I just continued learning as I went and just always had a passion for it. So, and here I am.
You didn't need culinary school.
People are eating and happy right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ginger, you have a chef and she does a great job. What do you try to bring to small town to make it special, to make it kind of a reflection of you? Because this is like your project, your baby. What's that been like for you?
Yeah, I feel like I bring a lot of stuff, just like with the way it looks and the vibe, I guess.
I think,
I don't
yeah, that's
know how to
right.
explain it. And Lori and I work hand in hand on like the menus, figuring out what we're gonna serve, but she does the heavy lifting on the prep for it and everything. And then I do some fill-in in the kitchen if she has a sick day, or she needs a day off for whatever reason, which doesn't happen very often. She usually doesn't need a day off, but
So definitely like back of the house, chef, front of the house, manager. And then what's the rest of your team? Because, I mean, you got 2 little ones. Are they running food yet? And then you also have a husband. And
they're not doing very well at their dishwasher training, so
Okay.
we had to bring in reinforcements. But we do have a couple other staff members. My husband helps. He does a lot of the cleaning stuff that happens when we're closed,
Okay.
making the place look presentable. And then he has been doing coffee on the weekends, in the morning, on Saturdays and Sundays.
He's our barista.
Yeah, he's our barista now. And then we have a couple other staff members too. Sierra has been working full time since the beginning of the pandemic. It's been me, Lori, and Sierra every single day. And then we also have Mahi, who does our dishes, and that's it. We have a really small staff, so just
Kind
the
of a little
four of
easier to
us and
control,
Matt.
but then also, I mean, I feel like it brings, when you have less people touching things, I feel like there's more feeling in it. Things aren't like, they aren't like diluted and being passed hand to hand to hand to hand to hand. I think it's a little more concentrated, whether that be flavor or just atmosphere. I like it better the smaller, I think it is.
I think that everyone cares more that way too. It starts to feel like a family. We all care about each other. We hear about each other's hardships and triumphs, and we talk all the time. We all try the food together, and so it feels more like a family that way. I think if it got too large, we would lose some of that.
And I think as a customer, I feel that, and that's why I like to come down, whether it's just for a drink or a cheese plate or anything. So I bet other customers feel that too. So good job. Okay, so we have questions from the tasting room. And these are just oddball questions. Sorry, Kelsey, I didn't mean it like that. They're fabulous questions.
Not all bad, not all bad.
I think this is the better part of the interview. But we'll start off with one of my favorites. Do you have a favorite vegetable? Lori will start. Favorite vegetable, and what is it and why?
That's really tough.
It could be a fruit. I'll give you that too. Or a grain.
Oh, it can be a fruit.
Let's go there.
Oh boy. I have a lot of favorite fruits, so that even makes it harder. But I don't know. My go-to very often when I'm looking to make vegetables at home for myself is a Brussels sprout. I love Brussels sprouts.
Favorite preparation?
I slice them in half, put them slice size down on a frying pan, put a little butter on the bottom of the pan, season them up. My secret ingredient, a little fresh nutmeg over the top of them. And then I get them started to sear a little bit, and just when they start to get a little color, I pour a little water in the pan, cover it up, and get a little steam. And I could just sit and eat a huge bowl full of those and make it a meal.
I agree, yeah. Also, maybe a little bread. But I'm always like
don't
a
need
little
bread.
Ginger, same question to you.
Well, I love all vegetables, so this is really hard, but I think my favorite is a grilled artichoke.
Dipping sauce?
Definitely need some dipping sauce, and it has to be mayonnaise based.
Ah, okay.
Like a remoulade or garlic mayo even.
Oh God, yeah, garlic.
Yeah.
Roasted garlic, yes.
Yeah.
I like the mayo based, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're making your
Well,
own mayo in-house.
our Wi-Fi password is "We love veggies."
It is.
I thought you were going to say we love mayo.
It should be that. Let's switch it.
If you don't change it, I'm changing my Wi-Fi password.
We love mayo.
We just recently taught Sierra how to make mayo, and she was just blown away when she tasted her first batch. She was like, "What? This is so much better."
Yeah, it's way better than heavy-duty manufacturing mayo. Okay, we'll do another question. So, for amateur home chefs, what do you think is something they need to have in their kitchen? Maybe that makes their cooking at home a little bit easier. Like for me, it could be a chef's knife, which is simple. I think the peeler is underutilized. Or do you recommend anything else?
A zester.
A zester?
Yeah.
Like a microplane or a...
Yeah, a nice little something either.
Microplane.
Yeah. I don't know if a lot of people would use it, but I love the mandolin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just having that uniform slice.
Oh
Yes.
Yeah. I rarely use it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, I rarely use it.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
I made ratatouille yesterday, though, and it's like, oh, that saved me. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
It's easier.
Okay, what about like a food that you just can't live without? So, like some people may say In-N-Out burger, or for me, like if I've had too much the night before, I cannot live without a McDonald's McGriddle the next day. On the end of the scale. What about you guys? There's the one thing out there that you like so much, you probably don't want to tell anybody about it, that you actually have it all the time.
Star Donuts apple fritters.
Which you're now serving next
Yes,
door.
We
We
are
are.
serving because
Yes,
she
we are.
loves them, and
I-
other people love them too.
I brought one in and I said, you gotta try this. She can't because she's gluten free.
Uh-huh.
So Matt did, and it's like, oh yeah. So it's like, I think they'd sell.
So we can expect those on Saturdays and Sundays now?
Yep.
We have them every weekend now,
Apple and blueberry.
but we have more apple.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of going back to favorite foods for your babies, for Lennon. Does she come into the restaurant and just maybe demand something? There's that one thing that, what's that going to be?
Potato chips and cake.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time?
Yes. Well, no. When she sees me, you have cake? You have cake?
Ah,
She associates me with cake. And yeah, so.
Yeah, it's a good association.
flattering.
Yeah, right. Oh, I want cake.
And chips. She always
Always
wants
chips,
chips.
yes.
We do have good chips. The
Mhm.
Dirty brand potato chips,
Yeah.
just sea salt.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and deviled eggs.
She does like deviled eggs too.
Sometimes she'll come in and she'll sit at the table and she'll say, I'll have a deviled egg and a pizza. Okay, she knows what she wants.
I gotta take my pickled eggs to her and see if we can pass one off on her and see if she'll like it.
Ooh, that I have some of your
You
pickled
still
eggs at home. Yeah.
She takes after her mom, taste-wise sometimes with, Ginger is very fond of tart,
Tang.
tangy. She loves the pickles and capers and olives, Kalamata olives. And
I do.
yeah, and Lennon is kind of following in that.
Actually, more the little one.
Oh,
The baby loves
Mhm.
pickles as much as I do. I think.
Really? Like
Mhm.
that bite? The
He
acidic
loves
bite?
pickles. He wants a whole pickle. When I have one, he wants a
Nice.
pickle, and he'll carry it around for like 20 minutes, just taking little bites of it. And he's holding on to it for dear life. Like he'll
Okay.
be climbing on stuff and he'll fall, but the pickle is still.
Don't
being
drop
grabbed.
the pickle!
Yeah.
Okay, so he's excited about pickles. Is there a dish that Lori makes that no matter how many times she makes it, you're just like, let me get some more?
Yeah. Beef bourguignon.
What's your beef bourguignon like?
Well, I make a nice semi-thick burgundy wine sauce with some garlic butter, sautéed mushrooms. I leave the mushrooms either whole, depending on the size, or I half them. I sauté them on the side and add them kind of in the middle, so they still have that nice glazy, garlicky flavor. And then I pour that over generally mashed potatoes.
Okay,
Yeah,
classic. I
Yeah.
like it.
yeah.
Do you
Also,
do?
cod livernaise. I can't get enough of that.
What is that?
Livernaise. There's no liver in livernaise.
Kind of disappointed now.
Livernaise is the name of the city that the
Yeah,
recipe originated
Livorno,
from?
Italy
Okay.
is where it comes from, and a livernaise is it's a very fresh sauce that is made from fresh tomatoes, basil, capers, onions, Kalamata
Ooh,
olives.
super bright and briny.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes. I love that.
and so I'll bake a piece of cod and then just top it with that. And it's
So good.
loaded
Okay.
with those, fresh grape or cherry tomatoes, whatever looks good at the time. And,
Mhm.
but we have had people come in and see that the special was cod livernaise, and they're like, "Oh no, I don't eat liver." So we
We
have
actually tried to come up with a new name for it because we
Yeah.
were so worried. Everyone was like, "Oh, liver? No thanks."
I
They
know.
wouldn't even listen to the description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but-
tough doing that. I find that on my menu too. It's like I call something the wrong thing, or you just.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a classic dish and you don't want to call it that because it's a little different. And I think that when you call a dish something that people are so familiar with, almost the easier thing to do is to criticize it
Mm-hmm.
than to just enjoy it.
Mhm.
It's not like I know it. So I try to sometimes put different names, and sometimes that's successful, but I think it's not
We struggle with that too. So
Yeah.
if something is different than a classic, we usually will put small town in front of
Yeah.
the name so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they know it's like our take on it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
or Lori's. Yeah, it'll
Or
say
Lori's.
Lori's
Lori.
meatloaf, or it'll say small town Cobb salad,
Mhm.
because we change a couple little things and make
Because
it
we
look.
definitely like to get away from the classics a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a classic old small town, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I mean, you bring a little twist to it, but I think there's something so nice about the homey style food that you do. You know, it's still stuff that maybe a cook with experience might do at home, but not everyone. I think
Right.
it hits right in between
Mhm.
what people may do or may not. And I've heard some people say, you know, well, I can make that at home. And I'm like, you couldn't make that at home.
I like that.
Don't tell me you can make that at home.
Yeah,
I see
right.
what you make at home.
I see that stuff you're warming up.
Yeah,
I see it. Okay, as a final question, I want to ask about the future and what would you like it to look like, or what are you working towards? So first, I'm gonna ask Lori that. It sounds like you've gone several different routes, but they've kind of merged together. And what does that look like for you continuing to go forward? Please.
Well, I've done this a long time, as we've established, and worn many different hats. I've owned 2 restaurants in New York, and I kind of got to a point where I'm in a good position now because I have a lot of creative freedom. I get to do what I love to do, which is cook, and I have a need to feed, as we all know. And Ginger gets to be the one who has to deal with all of that icky stuff that I don't want to have to deal with anymore. And I'm excited to be a part of a small, homey, very family-oriented business that I can help grow and help establish, more and kind of feel like I'm making a difference and still do what I love. And then maybe someday I'll get to sit back and say, make that, and
For Lennon and Hendrick.
yeah, here's your menu and here's your prep list, and I'm just gonna sit here and have my tea, and you can ask me questions. No, I'm
Not
kidding.
too much oil at once.
Yeah, right.
Mayonnaise.
Yeah, yeah, right.
It all comes back to the mayo.
Ginger, the same question to you. What is tomorrow or next year? What does that look like for small town, for your family here?
Well, this year that all changed because of the pandemic. So it's hard to look into the future right now. I would love to be able to serve inside the restaurant.
Yeah,
Imagine
that's a
that.
small thing.
And we do have some fun things up our sleeve for expanding the business and doing some new stuff, but
Okay.
don't want to say too much about it yet.
Yep.
Don't want to jinx it.
Yep. We'll hold it.
But yeah, the idea has always been to grow and support my family with this little business, and I think we're on our way towards being able to do that, and that's exciting. And it's so great to be a part of the community in Amador City. I've met so many amazing people since I opened Small Town, and they all feel like friends. Every single person that comes in really feels like our friend. When someone we don't know comes in, we're like, "Who are you?
Who are you?
And
Do you live here?
can we be friends?"
Yeah, right.
Come next week.
Yeah. So it feels like we're in the right place, and this year kind of feels like about survival so that we can get past this whole COVID thing, and then we'll grow in the future. But right now we're just trying to survive.
Well, I think survival, we have an opportunity to learn a lot from it. And we've seen in our community some people, kind of go into hiding during this time.
Yeah.
And then others still continue on and to push the boundary and say, no, we're not going to close. Like, I can't close. I have to feed my family. And I admire that, and I'm thankful that for you guys to be still here serving 5 days a week. And it's 5, right? It's not 6.
5.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, serving 5 days a week. And I think it's admirable. I think it's great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you'd like to come in tonight, you're seeing this video right now, I bet you can score some shrimp tacos at Small Town. But if it's not tonight, please take the opportunity to come in over the next week or maybe next week and try some of Chef Lori's delicious specials she has. You can find those on Facebook. You can see them on Instagram. They're posted there all the time. If you go, you can turn your notification on so it actually pops up and you see it. First thing you open the tab. That's what I did, just so I'm aware. So thanks for joining us and for our finale of Feasting in the Foothills. And ladies, thank you for being with me
Yes, thank
and
you.
sharing your space.
This was fun.
Yes.
It was fun. Cool. Rad. We did it!
Yay!
Yay!